Warning, this video does not promote CSGO cheating in any way. It is only for demonstration purposes how cheats are still being used in 2017. Welcome to the special about the dark side of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, cheating. How are they still able to do this in 2017? The reason why I did make this special was because I started to play Counter-Strike Global Offensive again just after not playing it for a year maybe, and I noticed that people are still cheating. I mean, sometimes you are suspicious, and then when you watch a replay, then you can clearly see they are either wall hacking or aimbotting. And in this special I would like to handle the following subjects. The first one, why is cheating such a problem in Counter-Strike Global Offensive? I mean, of course cheating is a problem, but why is it even a bigger problem in Counter-Strike Global Offensive compared with any other game? Second subject, what kind of cheats are being used nowadays in Counter-Strike Global Offensive? I was only familiar with wall hacks and aimbots, but it seems there are a lot more cheats out there which are being used. So yeah, let's find it out and let's see what cheats are being used nowadays. The third subject is what anti-cheat detection systems is Counter-Strike Global Offensive using. I mean, you don't not only have Valve anti-cheat software, but there are other systems, and in this subject we're going to talk about those other systems. And then last, but definitely not least, probably the most interesting thing that you want to see is that we're actually going underground. How easy is it to acquire these cheats and to use them, and are we being banned immediately or not? We're going to find it out. So yeah, you can see the timestamps here. If you want to go directly to a specific subject, then go to that part of the timeline. So that are the 4 subjects we're going to handle in this special. So the reasons not to cheat, of course, are obvious. People who are cheating are pretty much ruining the fun for everyone else except themselves. And even if they're using an aimbot, I really don't see the fun in that. I mean, what's the point of not aiming and just clicking and get an auto headshot? That pretty much goes in against the entire meaning of Counter-Strike, I think. But yeah, people are still cheating, and for that, of course, it is very annoying to face a cheater. And why is cheating a bigger problem in Counter-Strike Global Offensive than it is in any other game? Well, the thing with Counter-Strike Global Offensive is that you are able to obtain skins from weapon crates, which you get if you gain up a level, or I thought if you do specific achievements, then you get a crate, and with that crate you are able to obtain random skins. Well, some of them are common, but some of them are pretty rare, and the thing is, you can actually trade these skins for real money. Yes, real money. And don't get me wrong, this market is huge. I mean, go to Google, type in CSGO trading websites, and you will get all kinds of trading websites. And you can see the problem there when people are cheating in CSGO, that if they're obtaining a lot of crates, you know, it's just purely illegal money. I mean, the skin market is already a bit shady, but if people are obtaining it with cheating so they can have more crates, an example, then it's going to be a big problem. I mean, this is real money we're talking about. And not only trading, you also have betting, and that means people can bet against each other or bet against teams. So yeah, of course there's always the chance that there is match fixing, which happened a lot in CSGO history with professional matches, or at least some cases are really known and are being investigated, or people have proof that it happened. But yeah, you know, perhaps people can pretend that they're pretty bad and then all of a sudden use cheating to gain the advantage and just to make sure they win, so they can really match fix or really have influence on this market of betting and skins market. So for that, of course, in CSGO, this is far more important, that people should not be able to cheat, because they can actually make real money of this. So what can you expect when you're playing CSGO and you're going to face cheaters? Well, first of all, I got my hands on this cheating injector, and of course, again, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is only for demonstration purposes, and I'm playing a bot match right now, as you can see here, no pings, and the bots can't shoot back. And yeah, I'm going to show later in this video how I got this cheating device and how hard it was to actually get my hands on it. But the first thing you see here is the good old wall hack, of course. And the only two hacks I knew that exist was wall hack and aimbot. And wall hack is probably used by almost every player who tried to look legit, and he's using it to have a very unfair advantage, because what he can do is just walk here, you know, and pretend he don't see the people here through the walls, and then act very surprised when he's walking right around the corner and see the enemy player in here, and pretend like he didn't see it. So wall hack is a very huge advantage which you have over other players. So yeah, that's one of the first cheats which are probably being used mostly by cheaters, and especially cheaters who try to look legit with wall hack, because when they're being spectated, you know, they act like they don't see people through the walls, but they have spotted them from miles away and then act very surprised, and this will help the believability from the spectator that people are not cheating. Then when it comes to aiming cheats, of course we have the good old aimbots, and to be honest, I again did not know much about aimbot except that it will automatically give people headshots, but it's more advanced than that, and also more tweakable to make it look legit, because the aimbot which I have right now is configured, as you can see, on the head, but I can also set it to neck or chest. But an example, let's have it to the head, and I have a very high field of view, and what this means is that everyone in a very big field of view, like it says here, will be automatically snapped on with the crosshair and automatically snapped on his head when I shoot. An example, watch this. So yeah, this is what happens. It doesn't really matter where I shoot, it will automatically snap on the enemy player's head. And because that's a very high field of view, its effect. And yeah, what cheaters who try to look legit usually do is they set a very low field of view. And let me set it to an example 1.8 or something, and let's try to find that other enemy player. And when he's close enough, I'm able to see him with the wall hack, but he's probably delivering the hostage. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we have to wait for the next round to show you what this low field of view does, but I'll try to explain it anyway already. What this means is, with this very low field of view aimbot set on the head, it means you can still shoot someone in the chest, but if you're aiming very towards his head, very near at his head, an example just a couple of inches away from his head, it will automatically, or at least, let's see, yeah, as you saw there, it will still snaps to his head, and if you do it in a very quick action like this, it looks very legit, because as you can see, yeah, it's hard to do it, but when you're being spectated, it looks a lot more natural than a very high field of view where you will automatically snap on their head. So an example, especially from players from far away, I can still aim for their legs. An example, I can still aim for their legs. Yeah, but if I aim very much near their head, it will automatically lock to the head for a headshot, and with an AK-47 that's instant kill. So that's pretty much everything for aimbots, but again, I can also set it to the chest so it looks a little bit more legit, not having constant headshots all the time. Another aiming technique is the something I did not know it did exist for CSGO, and that is the no recoil cheat. And what this does, it will show no recoil for you as a player. And the good thing is for a cheater is that if you're being spectated, it will actually show recoil. So it's a very safe and legit cheat to use to look legit. So an example here, I have aimbot off, but normally this AK-47 would give me huge amounts of recoil, but now I can just, you know, hold my mouse button and fully automatic fire, as you can see here. And yeah, this gun does not give me any recoil now. So yeah, that's something that cheaters who try to look legit probably almost always have activated, because yeah, it's very strong with high caliber rifles like this AK-47, and yeah, in a spectator mode of view, it doesn't really show. Let's see, it doesn't really show any snap on like the aimbot does. So yeah, Legit cheaters probably always have aimbot and no recoil cheat on. But there's another thing that cheaters who might try to look legit still also are using, is the following, and that is the trigger bot. And they're usually using this with a op like this one you're seeing right here. So trigger bot enabled, trigger auto shoot. And what this does is this trigger bot, it's not an aimbot, and when I'm moving my cursor, when I'm moving my crosshair on an enemy player, it will automatically fire. So I don't have to. I can leave my finger off my trigger button. I just had to move the scope over an enemy player, and then it will automatically fire. So yeah, with that, it looks it looks a lot more natural than using an aimbot. And especially when being spectated, it doesn't really look suspicious, which is of course something that cheaters want. They want to look legit. And what's also being really thought of is the trigger delay, which you can set, and this means that this trigger delay means that if I set this delay and I would aim for someone who was around the corner, I would not immediately shoot, and looks very unnatural like a robot, but it would have some human delay after it, which makes it even more shadier, But yeah, this trigger bot is probably also being used by all cheaters who are using an op. So I think people who are cheating and try to look legit are having a trigger bot, a no recoil cheat, and a wall hack to still look legit, but still having the insane advantages of cheating. So yeah, for that you have a little bit of an idea what you can expect when facing cheaters in CSGO. Let's take a look at the anti-cheat measures there are and the ways that you can get banned if you are a cheater. The first one is probably the most known one, that's the VAC ban, Valve Anti-Cheat. What this does is pretty much that Valve is checking your computer if you're not using any third-party software which injects the game code, and that you will have some benefit playing the game. If so, and if Valve Anti-Cheat detects it, you will get banned automatically by their system. So it's a constant anti-cheat system which is running while you're playing CSGO on VAC servers. That's pretty important. If you're not playing on VAC secured servers, then you are actually able to cheat, or at least you won't get VAC banned, which is pretty much everything, all these CSGO servers like casual, competitive, deathmatch, etc. So if you're VAC banned, you're pretty screwed, because then you can only join non-VAC protected servers, and that's not really the CSGO experience which you want to have. Another ban that you also can get as a cheater is a regular game ban. This does not really apply to CSGO, because CSGO is from Valve itself, and Valve owns the VAC system, the Valve Anti-Cheat system. But yeah, an example, if you're another publisher, another game developer, and you have your own anti-cheat system, they can still ban you from their game on Steam, or at least the multiplayer parts from their game. And yeah, it will work in an addition of the VAC, the Valve Anti-Cheat system. But since CSGO is from Valve itself, it will probably only give you VAC bans. But well, that's not exactly true, because the last cheat detection system is the Overwatch anti-cheat system. What this does, it will send clips of suspected players to CSGO players which have a good reputation, and then they can determine if the suspect is really cheating or not. They can either decide if there is not enough evidence and the case will be dismissed, or that the evidence is really majorly disruptive, and yeah, the player, the cheater, will get permanently banned because of this Overwatch system as well. So if you are a cheater, you better make sure that you are trying to look legit while cheating. Alright, we're going underground. Let's see what we can find, some cheats to use it for ourselves. Yeah, the funny thing is, if you type in Google CSGO Wallhack, CSGO aimbot, you will find all kind of cheat websites. So the offer of cheating websites is huge. And I thought it would be funny if I was able to actually use the first one. So I checked out the first one, which in almost every case is iwantcheats.net. And yeah, it's been claiming to be undetected for 907 days. So I did almost immediately was just purchased a 1-month subscription, which is not cheap, by the way. It's over $25 or $20 to $30 usually, these cheating websites. But yeah, so that's quite a large amount of money, considering that a AAA game on a PC is around $35, $40 if you search for a good key. So yeah, that's pretty expensive, and you really need to have some dedication for the game if you want to pay such an amount like that every month. Also, the problem was that I'm using these cheats on my main game PC because my secondary game PC only has a GT 1030, and for that it cannot use Shadowplay recording. So yeah, I have to use it on my main game PC, which is pretty tricky since using cheating programs and cheating injectors on your main game PC, your main computer, is pretty similar like you're a child and you just find your father's loaded gun and playing around with it, because you know you have to give full control to those programs, full rights, and you have to disable them in your firewall and your anti-cheats software, your antivirus software. So yeah, for that I was not really comfortable with that, and especially when I saw this video and I checked out the comments, a lot of people according to them, this was pretty scamish. This iwantcheats.net wasn't really, it was a lot of scam, a lot of viruses complaints and all that stuff. So I did decide not to use iwantcheats.net because of all the negative reviews and comments. So for that, I had to search further. So after some investigation, I actually found a cheat provider which was a little bit less shady and seemed to work. So yeah, for this video I did decide to purchase this as well, just to test it. And yeah, how is the setup process? Is this really easy to use? And this also costed me $30 for a month. So yeah, the entire freaking video already costed me $50-$60, which is a little bit too much, and something I would probably never done if my channel was a lot smaller like in the beginning. But okay, for this video I did decide, what the heck, just try it, and because we have gone already so far. I'm not going to name the cheat provider here because of two reasons. The first one is that I don't want to encourage people cheating. The second one is that there might be legal issues if I talk negative about this cheating provider, and yeah, I don't want to have I don't want to get any legal problems with this cheating provider just for this stupid video. But yeah, how easy is it? Well, not really easy. And let me try to briefly show you what you need to do to set up the entire freaking cheating process. First, you have to download the loader, and you have to have an additional empty USB flash drive and format that to FAT32 file system, and then you have to put the cheat on there. Okay, yeah, that's one thing, but yeah, you have to get an additional USB drive. Then update your Windows, also update your video drivers, etc. Pretty basic stuff, but yeah, for people who don't regularly update their Windows drivers, that can be quite a pain to download everything again. Let's see. Then you have to disable every overlay in the game, so that means Steam overlay, but also the GeForce Experience, MSI Afterburner, Xfire, and yeah, especially for me that was annoying because I used the GeForce Experience quite a lot for Shadowplay to record gameplay footage. But okay, for this time, only for showing the cheating injector, I'll do that. Then let's see, you had to, this is a pretty important step, you had to put the cheat loader as an exclusion to Windows Defender, antiviruses, firewalls, etc. And yeah, this was pretty, this doesn't really feel comfortable, because then you give that cheating injector the all exclusive rights, and it's not being stopped by anything if it would cause any malicious things. So yeah, it was a pretty big risk, but yeah, okay, I did decide to do this anyway, and everything thankfully ended up fine. But yeah, that's something really, you know, it's really shady, because you never know for sure what this cheat injector really does. Okay, let's see more steps. And we had to go to the developer console, enable it, and you had to run some commands in there. And for me, it was extra annoying because I used a foreign keyboard setting, and for that I had some troubles with the developer console. But when I set it to English keyboard, then everything was fine. But it took me a couple of minutes to find out why it was not working. Then you had to make sure to have all C++ from 2005 to 2013. Well, yeah, there are quite a lot of them, but usually they're being updated automatically, so that's okay. Then you had to disable UAC, your user account control panel, I think it is. So that's also something you had to do. Then you had to go to the command prompt, run it as admin, and had to change some of the policies for that. So yeah, that's also what I had to do, restarted my PC and all. And then yeah, some pretty major things, and that was you had to go to the BIOS and actually disable secure boot, fast boot, all that stuff. Yeah, and that's really affecting your computer when it comes to booting. You know, it's not really just some minor things, because fast boot is something I really liked, and yeah, you had to give it up for this cheating device. Let's see, and then you was even more, you know, the cherry on the cake was that you actually have to install a freaking custom boot. So you have to install an additional bootloader to your existing Windows 10 installation, and that was a pretty turn off for me, because you know that went a little bit too far. But yeah, I was so much into trouble already that I had to finish this. So yeah, that's what I did as well. Install a custom boot you had to run that custom boot, and yeah. So that were pretty major steps, and it took me a couple of hours to have everything run. And yeah, for that, not easy, absolutely not easy. And again, it's not cheap. It's really, you know, $30, and the AAA PC games nowadays are $35-40 if you're looking for key sites and all. So you really have to have some dedication for the game as a cheater, and or perhaps you're making some good money off it from the skins maybe. But yeah, you know, quite a lot of money, and probably not the small children that you would expect are using this advanced cheats, but the more wealthy people who are working, you know, the older people, 25 plus, I think, who have a job or something, you know, they are actually using the cheats. So not really the kids that you would expect are using the cheats. So how does it work? Well, this is a shortcut to the program. When you start it up, the shortcut to the program on my USB flash drive, you will see this field, and I've blurred this because this will actually show the company name which is providing this cheat. And I don't want to have any legal issues again with the company. And then you can click on load cheat after you have started Steam as an administrator, which I don't have right now, so that's why it's waiting for Steam to close. But then you can load the cheat, and then when you're going in-game, you can press the insert key, and you'll have the cheat menu that you have seen before in this video. So yeah, coming to a verdict in all of this. Cheating, you know, when done professionally, I think people are doing that, number one, just for fun, of course, that they were able to win, but I think also for CSGO that they're able to obtain more skins and sell them for real money. And with this paid cheating, you have some very good configurable options to look legit, you know, that's really the danger of it. And if Valve may be watching, I would strongly suggest for them to download these cheating tools and, you know, try to look up the code and maybe improve their VAC system with it, because this is really problematic. You know, as you've seen before, if you are a cheater and you're only using the no recall, the wall hack, and not trying to look suspicious, and maybe a trigger buff with a delay, it's really freaking hard to actually detect someone cheating. And you know, from the website which I'm using this cheat from, it also stated that it has been undetected for over 2 or 3 years. You know, and it's a pretty large problem. So for that, you know, even with the Overwatch system, they can't really spot this this no recall, this wall hack, and yeah, you know, the trigger bot. So for that, it's a sad conclusion that these cheats are still being relatively easy to use if you have the amount of money. But again, yeah, $30, you really have to be dedicated to pay that each month to have some good cheats, you know. So yeah, hopefully Valve is going to learn a lesson from this, maybe inspect these cheating programs, and hopefully we will have 0 to none cheaters, you know, almost no cheaters in the future from CSGO. Probably not, but hey, you can always hope, right? So hopefully you guys liked this video. If so, please leave a like and a comment in the comment section, and hopefully see you guys at the next video. So take care and bye bye.